Something a little different. First off, obviously I am not at home. Working on my parent 6415. I don't know the year, 2005, 2006, something like that. I have to apologize for the wind. It is pretty windy here right now. Just doing some general maintenance on it. I think this machine's been in a couple videos, mowing, and I used F145 plow. And this is the same machine that also pulls an AW disc that was in on. I did I think I just did one video of it back almost a year ago from now. Already changed the engine oil. You can see that I got the oil out everywhere. 4.2 gallons of engine oil, and then I think there's almost 15 gallons of hydraulic fluid, and then we're going to change the oil in the front axles. So try to stay out of the wind a little bit, but it's a 6415, got a 673 loader on it. Don't use the loader too much. It mostly pulls a HX15 batwing mower. That's what it does most of the time. Nice simple machine. I think it's got about 1,500 hours on it, approximately 1,500 hours. The hour meter, the entire dash cluster had to be replaced. So, yeah, we don't know the exact hours. Purchased it used, had about 250 hours on it when we bought it, and that was in, I think, early 07 with the mower. And so, yeah, I'll just kind of show you what I did here. I actually need to walk around to the other side. I'm filming with the GoPro because I can't bring the regular camera on the plane with me. If you didn't know, I'm down in Florida, nice warm weather and getting out of the snow. But so what we've done so far, there's two drain plugs under here for the transmission or hydraulic fluid. One right there, and then another one back in the back, right underneath the drawbar, which was kind of aggravating to find because the picture showed it there, and then I could never find it. We also have to change this filter right here, and then we have to change a filter that is up underneath the tractor there. I can't really see it. I think it's right there. So we'll do that. We went to Deere this morning, because we're also going to do some maintenance on the 4510 that my parents have. So went to Deere this morning, got 28 gallons of high guard, or 28.5 gallons of high guard, and got some plus 52. We're short a gallon on plus 52, so we've pretty much used all the plus 52 oil, the 15W40 oil, and the 6415. So we're going to have to do something else there. High guard will also go in the front axles and the planetaries for the 6415 here, and then the 4510. So going to work on that, and I'll come back, and once we get the filters off, or I'll set the camera up and we'll do some taking the filter off thing like that. So away we go. Alright, so we've got the first filter off here. This is the new filter right here, and the old filter is right over here. There's the old filter, nice and dirty right there. So old filter was nice and dirty. Took a 24 millimeter socket with a breaker bar to get that filter off of there. This is just a filter in a canister, so there's a nut down here, 24 millimeter nut on the bottom that we had to take off. So I have to find the O-ring. I think it might still be in there. Got to find the O-ring that goes in here. It came with a new one, so got to do that. And then we can put the suction, or one of the filters, back on. I don't know what you would call this filter, inline, whatever, but it goes right there. There's the O-ring. So I'll get that O-ring pulled off, get that filter put back on there, and then we can turn our attention to the filter on the other side of the frame here. So, working pretty good. Just a lot of grunting, more or less, because of how long this stuff's been on here. This tractor only sees about 100 hours a year of use, so it's not necessarily a high hour machine. So it just kind of sits on here, and the filters just sit. So, yep, until the next filter. All right, so we have let me get the camera under here. we have the new filter on, if you can see that. Right there, the black thing. That filter's on. So now all we have left to do is I've got to put the plug in the back. That's the second plug. I've got to plug that up. I've got that filter replaced right there in front of the rear axle. And then I have to figure out where the suction filter is at. Supposedly there's a screen somewhere that I need to clean out. The instruction manual is not very specific with that figure. So I've got to root around in the back of the machine and try to figure out where that's at. And so we will go from there. Pretty easy so far. I think it's taken us about an hour. About an hour, right? Yeah, about an hour total time for work. So we took a break while the hydraulic fluid drained. But yeah, so I'll come back once I've got everything buttoned up and we crank it up and try to drive it the first time. All right, getting ready to refill it here. If you look, the suction hose is under there. You can't quite see it, but it's under there, so we got it cleaned out. I'll throw a picture of it. It wasn't too terribly bad. There was a couple metal shavings, a little bit of a clutch disc in there. Not overly shocked about that, given the use of the machine, things like that. But getting ready to put high guard back in it, and 13.7 gallons worth, and we'll go from there. So I will come back once we get it started. Alright, so we've got the transmission done, hydraulic fluid changed, and now we are working on the front axles. I've got the planetaries drained, got this one back at a 90-degree angle, so we can put it's just high guard that goes in the front axle. Got the front axle drained. This is I believe the front axles are a 1,500 hour service, so this is about right. This is the first time it's ever been done. You know, not a huge deal there. But two planetaries and then the center axle. We drained the differential and everything. And then the last thing we have to do is replace the coolant, and that'll be here shortly. That should be pretty easy, just a matter of cleaning it out. It does say in the instruction manual that we're supposed to flush it twice with water. I don't know if we're necessarily going to do that because it doesn't have the 3,000 hours that the coolant should. Typically there's a 3,000 hour, it's a 3,000 hour interval. We're not using Cool Guard. We're going to use regular Prestone. So I think we're just going to drain it out and then put new coolant in. I think that should be perfectly fine. So get it started up here in just a minute, drive it, and then we'll drain the coolant and we should be good to go. Alright, so this project is more or less done. The 6415 is done. Do still have to change the coolant, but I don't know if we'll get to that before dark, and I don't have any lighted areas to do that. So up next is the 4510. Got to change the transmission or the hydraulic fluid there, change the engine oil and the coolant. So we'll see if we can get all that on video. Did take it for a test drive. I'll throw some of that footage in here at the end of the video. And I think that should be a wrap on that. I don't know if this will be a one-part or a two-part video. Really depends. And what I'll do is I'll actually take and I'll put some links from previous times I've used this machine. I'll put those links in the video description. So thanks for watching.